to another episode of Listen to Us Rant About Movies. I'm Wes Ford.
And I'm Zach Harris.
We rant about movies and drink while we do it. And this is a weird time in our lives, Zach. Back with a new episode, but a very different time we're living in compared to just a few weeks ago we recorded.
Shit's changed.
Yeah, we are now living in the coronavirus age, a clearly historical moment in time that's very weird. We have both been quarantined at home.
Yep.
Working from home. Thankfully, we can continue to work, and it's just it's sad that so many others can't. And this is a rough time for everyone. And
yeah.
But hopefully this podcast can help ease anyone who's stuck at home through it a little bit. We'll be here.
Hopefully.
We're going to be talking some movies.
Absolutely.
We'll be discussing, for this episode, what we've been watching, followed by a double resurrection rant. We're bringing some movies back from Paul Schrader, 2 films of his.
Schrader time.
Yeah. Light Sleeper and Adam Resurrected. Both movies we have not seen. So that's what qualifies for our resurrection rant, so it's going to be very interesting. I am drinking a beer from Stone Brewery, called Never Ending Haze IPA. I've been into the hazies lately.
Interesting. Hazy boy. Okay.
Good stuff. Very citrusy.
Yeah? You like it?
Yeah. It's got that haze color, golden, and it's
hazy.
Hard to see through.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff.
I'm just drinking a good old-fashioned Guinness.
Hey.
Because it's what I got.
Yeah, most places have been cleared out, I'm sure, over there in Chicago.
Yeah, there's a big liquor store, but I drove by, the parking lot was full, and I was like, I don't think I'm going in.
Yeah.
It looked really, really busy.
Well, anyway, cheers.
Yep. What are you going to do? Cheers.
Definitely recommend this. I haven't had it before. It's really good.
Nice. Hell yeah. Stone's good. I like their beers that I've had.
Yeah. There's something about a hazy IPA with the citrus. I like it. I like it more than a regular American IPA.
It's got a nice cloud, There's a nice cloud to it.
Citrusy, kind of forward, hoppy. It's good. Refreshing too.
Yeah.
Which is nice right now because it got hot all of a sudden this weekend here in Florida.
Yeah, it's warming up here too. It's supposed to be 60 today. That's crazy for Chicago, dude.
Yeah.
What's it over there?
Man, where it's 85, 90.
Damn, that's fucked.
Yeah, it wasn't this hot.
That's fucked.
It just suddenly got real hot. But staying inside, so
yeah, who cares? Woo! Yeah.
Well, anyway, before we discuss what we've been watching, I'd like to remind our listeners that this podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/LTURAM. You can choose from 180,000 titles from your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. If you like what you hear in this episode, remember you can find other episodes of our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube. I realize every time because we do the tasting with the beers, right?
Yeah.
And then right afterwards, I have 2 paragraphs to talk. It's so hard after drinking a little bit of the beer, and then you're like, oh, okay. But anyway, let's get into it. Zach, what you been watching?
Well, I'll start with the last movie I saw in theaters pre-quarantine, which was questionable at the time, but I figured, you're not supposed to be in a place with, I think at the time it was more than 20 people, and I was unfortunately, no one's going to see First Cow. So I think at a 9:45 show on a weeknight, I'm probably going to be less than one of 5 people at this movie, so I think I'll take the chance. Yeah, it was like 2.5, 3 weeks ago or something, and I gotta say, this thing's a fucking banger. Let's start a boycott to like get this thing, or a petition, not a boycott.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing on VOD, because it already, I mean, unfortunately, like, it's not, this movie isn't gonna like rake in the dough. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now it's getting, fucked a little bit, but like, let's drop that shit on the VOD so everyone can watch it. It's very charming. It's super nice. I fucking loved it. Definitely the best movie I've seen this year. I mean, I haven't seen a ton this year, but like,
yeah.
It's got top 10 material. Love Kelly Reichardt. Also didn't know what the movie was about and was very pleasantly surprised.
Cool. Yeah, I've kind of stayed away from some spoilers.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, they show it in the trailers, like going back and watching it again. But I just didn't realize it was going to focus on this certain aspect of everything so much, and it was just really nice. And I love the performances. The main actor, I don't know his name, but he was in Not Fade Away, the David Chase movie, and I've always kind of liked him. So it was nice to see him. And his partner is really good too. I don't know. It's just like really good. It looks beautiful. Really cool score. Great performances. Really interesting opening, like structurally, the way that they do it. I don't know. It's a banger. Drop it on VOD. Everyone watch it.
I want to see it. Yeah. Yeah. I was planning to see it, but then I think the virus stopped it from getting over here. Yeah.
Honestly, it was like a thing where it was to the point where they hadn't come out and like said anything was like closed yet. There were no like regulations set in place. Yeah. But if I had been planning on going 2 days later, like I wouldn't have gone. You know what I mean? Like my friend hit me up and he was like, "Should we go?" And I was like, "I think it's fine, but like this is probably the last thing I'm going to be able to do." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It's like sort of at that edge where you're like, this is kind of the time where we have to stop.
Yeah.
But we could do this one last thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was like early March. I'm just curious now what day it was that I saw it. 12th. So
yeah, that was right around the time.
Yeah, when it was like starting to pick up. Yeah. But yeah, just interesting. Great movie though. Really killer. Kelly Reichardt is a champ. Yeah, everyone should watch it. 5 out of 5. Loved it.
Nice. Hell yeah, man. I watched a series in 2 nights. Everyone's talking about this show. Tiger King? Yeah.
Nice.
You watch it?
I have not. No, my roommates are literally watching it upstairs right now.
Oh man, it's insane. It's a crazy story. It is a crazy story, and every episode just gets crazier as the story opens up. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, it's I won't spoil anything, but it's kind of about this guy named Joe Exotic, who is just kind of this eccentric zoo owner. He was really into breeding and just having his own zoo of like big cats. And so it dives a little bit into the underground world of big cat owners. Some of the laws behind that. And his rivalry with Carol Baskin, who lives in Tampa. And I know of her rescue place. It's called Big Cat Rescue. And it's like one of the biggest well-known cat rescues in the world. And they have this crazy rivalry to where it got dangerous and things happen. And there's a lot of controversy around it, and it's just kind of an insane story. You can't write this stuff with these very eccentric characters. So I don't know. There's something about it very fascinating, very entertaining. It's like 7 episodes. My wife and I finished it in 2 nights.
Nice.
Freaking watch it, man. It's very good. Have to watch.
I'm planning on it. Like, it's a good one. I've been trying to. Feel like it's time for me to start a new show, so miniseries is nice to always start,
definitely.
I gotta ask one question though, and I'm not talking down on this, but I gotta know with the true crime Netflix, what's the fluff factor on this thing? What's the fluff percentage?
You mean like the hype? sort of thing?
No,
or?
I feel like all the true crime shows are
Uh-huh.
always like one episode too long. Because they like pad them out, like fluff factor, where it's just
for
like,
sure.
How much of this can we trim out? Like, does this really need to be 8 hours? You know what I mean? Like,
I think yes. I think there is no fluff at all. Yeah, I feel like it's a really good length. Like, there's a lot of Netflix fluff on a lot of their shows. I feel like 7 episodes was great. I feel like it was tight enough. It explained everything. I thought it was a great length for what it was.
Beautiful. Yeah, check it out.
In fact, the way it's crafted and edited is really masterful because, again, I won't say too much, but there's a point where you're starting to get used to everyone, and it's about a little over halfway, and then new characters, quote unquote, people are introduced into the store, and you're like, oh, and then it just gets even
just
crazy.
like
it's just like
expands farther.
It was like a perfectly timed way of introducing another portion of the story. And I don't know, really well crafted documentary series, in my opinion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That's Tiger King. It's on Netflix.
Nice.
Tiger King, Murder, Mayhem, and Madness.
Okay, full title.
Full title.
I'm trying to think what else I watched. I watched The Cotton Club, which is a Francis Ford Coppola movie from 1984.
Very nice.
Very good. This was, I guess it was, it's basically about this club, the Cotton Club, which is like a jazz club with all like black performers and musicians, but it's a white club. So it's like black people aren't allowed into the club that is celebrating them performing and like their subsect of like music. You know what I mean? So it's this kind of like weird, interesting dynamic. It's also kind of, there's this like marginal like gang aspect, like organized crime type stuff. But it seems like a lot of or at least from what I've read, it kind of got butchered when it came out, and a lot of the subtext about the sort of like racial tension and the commentary there was removed from the movie to make it just like more palatable, I guess, for people in the 80s. So, which is kind of ironic based on what the story is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But, so recently Coppola did like a new cut called The Con Club Encore, and they did like a 4K restoration of it. Came out on Blu-ray a couple months ago. Highly recommended. Very good. Really liked it. Nice. Could go up on a rewatch. Yeah, it was great. Really good cinematography. Like the performances. Not really a big Gere boy. Richard Gere's in it. Not a huge Gere head.
Yeah.
But I liked him in it. I like Gearhead also. As a
Richard Gere fan. A big Gearhead fan.
But also has a very young Diane Lane. Like to the point where I did not recognize her at all.
Really? Crazy.
And Gregory Hines, and who I don't see enough of, or I haven't seen enough of. Bob Hoskins, Nicolas Cage. Pretty banger cast.
Oh, wow. Good cast, yeah.
Yeah, it's really great. It's just all about this jazz club, you know, Richard Gere. There's also this, like, weird segment where he's, like, an actor. So there's this kind of, like, Hollywood part where they're trying to, like, they say he's, like, a shit actor, but he, like, looks the part. So, like, we'll give him a try. You know, just, like, guys smoking cigars in a screening room. Like, so there's a lot of sort of, like, fun stuff of the era. And
that's cool.
It's really good. And I haven't seen the theatrical version, but I watched it with Sean. Like, we sunk it up at our respective places.
Nice.
And, like, watched it together.
That's cool.
And he said it was a lot better because he had seen the previous version. So, yeah, it's a killer movie. It's a cheap blue too. Like, I think it was like 14 when it came out, so it might be cheap.
Not bad.
Definitely worth checking out. And honestly, one of the best transfers I've ever seen. Like, looks so fucking good. And it's like kind of a shame it didn't come out on 4K, but
yeah.
Honestly, it's like, how much better can it look? Like, it looks so good.
That's awesome.
I was really, really impressed with the transfer, and man, some of these overlays in this fucking thing, man. They do these like kind of old timey sequences where it's like newspapers and like soft overlays of like montage of time passing.
Yeah,
and they're just
killer.
Just like a tasty dish, bud.
Nice. Wow, you got me hooked, man. Francis Ford Coppola. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
man.
It's a great movie. It'd been one that I've been wanting to see for a long time. just wasn't really available. So yeah, Con Club, very much worth checking out.
Nice, very cool.
Had it on the shelf for about 3 months. Finally made some time to watch it. Literally in the wrapping still.
Oh my God.
On my shelf.
All right, cool. Curb Your Enthusiasm, new season just wrapped up.
Watched the finale yesterday.
Nice, yeah. Pretty good season.
Yeah, I thought it was
pretty
great.
Good season.
This is very funny.
I like how Vince Vaughn was just sort of in it this season.
Yeah, and he wasn't playing himself, but he was like a marginal character that was like his friend. I thought that was good.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And I think more so than the last season, like, and I don't necessarily always need him to like comment on these like hot issues, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily need it, like talk about like mundane shit, you know what I mean? But I do think there was a line that was written better in this than the last, where it like makes me feel sick when it starts. I'm like, oh God, like no, you know what I mean? Like you don't need to comment on this.
Come on, Larry.
while there's absolutely like problematic things in the season, I think for the most part, conceptually, it always turns in a way that is like funny and just more genuine and less.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
Like I start sweating and then I'm kind of like, oh okay, like it's you know what I mean.
Yeah, like I love just in the beginning of the season the whole like using the Trump hat to.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, it's just a repellent, you know.
Yeah. I also I watched the finale yesterday, and I gotta say, there's a certain bit with a fire truck, and I was fucking dying laughing.
Yes, that part was hilarious.
I was dying laughing.
It was so funny.
Yeah,
there were some really solid moments that had me cracking up for sure.
Mm. And also looking back, because when it ended, I like looked back at all the episodes, and it really it has a nice narrative, but it like. A lot happens in it, you know. Like each of the episodes were very formed on their own, but there's like a nice continuity. Whereas, like I felt like basically it was just a big step up from the last season. I was a little disappointed in the last season.
Yeah, I agree. I think this new season was very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love how JB Smooth's character. He's getting better and better too.
The
like
fucking best.
He is so good.
I love JB Smooth. Honestly, so why isn't that guy in movies? Like, get that guy a starring role in a movie, please. I want to see it so bad.
Starring role, yeah.
Yeah, we need a vehicle for JB Smooth.
I was happy to see him in the biggest one I can think of most recently was the Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh yeah, totally.
He was in that, so that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but yeah, man, get him in some more movies. This guy's good.
Get this guy into everything.
Yeah,
I will watch anything with this guy.
Oh, for sure. The whole part with the sex doll, the blow up doll.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
So funny. He's like trying to deflate it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, I agree. I like the kind of the narrative of the Spite store. Mm-hmm. Also going through the season and having like a conclusion at the end, and
the way that they kind of like broaden the concept of the Spite store in the finale is very funny.
Very funny.
Like with all the celebrities, it's like
he like started a movement. All these Spite stores.
And it's just like the worst movement.
It's horrible. Like,
yeah.
So pointless.
Yeah. And just like bad for everyone, like putting out all these like small businesses out of business and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's really funny.
Yeah. Good stuff. And it didn't feel like, I feel like he might have another one. You know, it didn't have any kind of finale or like finality to it. You know?
It seemed like for a while from like season 5 on, like every episode or every finale was kind of like set up to be a potential finale. Whereas this one did not feel like that. So hopefully that's movement that he's just like, fuck it, I don't care.
I'm having fun.
Get another one out.
You know? Come on, man.
This one did seem to kind of crop up fast. Like the last season I heard about for a long time. It was like they're making a new season. It'll be out in like 2 years. You know what I mean? But this one was kind of just like, hey, new season. It comes out in like 4 months. It was like, oh shit, okay.
I think I heard about it. It was like a year in advance.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was HBO promoting new shows. It's like coming in 2020. I was like, oh shit, you know?
Mm.
And then it came, it got here fast.
Yeah.
So
So keep it rolling, Larry. Let's get them going, man.
Love it. So what else you got?
I've been doing I did a lot of rewatches.
I honestly haven't watched a lot myself.
I have been watching a lot, but a lot of movies I've seen just because well, there's a lot more time in the quarantine to watch things. It's also watching things that everyone in my house wants to watch. At one point, there were like 5 people here. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I can't be like, let's put on, Human Condition Part 2. Like, so I rewatched F for Fake. Fucking banger.
Great movie.
Rewatched Good Time. Banger.
Good one.
Rewatched The Deer Hunter on 4K. Ooh,
nice.
Holy shit.
Looks
that
good.
4K, baby. I got the UK one, but they announced it for the US. You should pick it up when it comes out. Nice. I think Shout Factory's on the 4K train now. So.
Oh, cool. Nice.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, haven't really watched much. I guess one that I hadn't seen is I watched Hobbs and Shaw.
So bad.
So bad. We all got. I think the first Friday of the quarantine, we're all bummed and we just got fucking trashed. And the Hangover day, they added Hobbs and Shaw to HBO, and I was like, oh fuck yeah! So we were just like all hungover and ate pizza and watched Hobbs and Shaw.
That's the time to watch it, you know.
Honestly, brutal though.
It's
like,
bad,
so
right?
Bad.
It's really bad.
The longest movie.
It's
longer. Somehow they figured out time travel. It's longer than the runtime. It's longer. It's terrible. Over 3 hours. Like I know it's not even 2 hours and 20.
I know. Why is it
over 3 hours?
Why? It's so bad.
Also like I don't want to. It's like okay, The Rock being Samoan is very cool. The Rock wanting to pay tribute to his heritage, very cool. Sure, yeah. In its own movie. Like this movie makes 0 sense.
It makes no sense.
I forgot about the whole Samoa Island thing.
Yep.
And I paused it to get a drink, and I was like, "There's a fucking hour left in this movie." I thought there was 20 minutes left in this movie.
Oh my god.
And he's just like, "I need my brothers." It's just like we can go to Samoa, and then they go, and they're like, "Oh my god!" Like
it's brutal.
This is so unnecessary. Talk about and. I was reading up on all the controversy with like Tyrese when all this was happening. Yeah, I thought it was really funny. But now after seeing it, it's like, dude's justified. He doesn't have anything going on, and then Dwayne comes in, the biggest movie star, and it's like, you know what? I'm gonna do my own of these. And everyone's like, well, this isn't like really your movie. He's like, no, I think I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be all about my heritage.
Yeah.
It's just like
he just like took over the franchise.
Yeah, and even though Jason Statham's half of it, it's a Rock movie for sure. Like it skews Rock hard.
Oh, for sure.
So weird. Such a fucking weird
strange movie. Yeah, I went with some friends when it came out theaters, and we went to a bar before and tried to get a little hammered and then go in, and it wasn't even like, it became just not even enjoyable. It was like long. We're just like, is it over yet? Like, and we're in the theater, so we can't like pause it or anything. So.
Yeah, like I was enjoying it. I was like laughing and like having fun. I'm like, this is so boneheaded, but I don't care. This is fun.
Yeah,
sometimes boneheaded's great. I don't give a shit. I've seen all these movies.
No, I agree. And that's why we went and saw it. But
yeah, exactly. But it gets like you were saying, it gets to that point where like, all right, like fun's over. I'm done.
Yeah, it was just too long. Like, too long. Yeah,
so long. Like by the end, Dwayne's like holding a helicopter and a truck like by his arms.
Oh my god.
This is the most insane thing I've ever seen.
He had his own like Captain America moment there, like just
I just kept turning to my roommate TJ while we were watching it and being like, hey, remember in Fast and Furious 1 when they like had a car race?
Yeah.
We're like, hey, remember Tokyo Drift? How that was like an insane thing to add on in the third movie? It's just like
it's not even a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
Either. It's just so a Rock
far
movie.
Removed. Yeah, it's so far removed. It has nothing to do with anything. They could have had the exact same dynamic between him and Jason Statham and just had new names. and it would have been fine. No one.
It would have been fine. Would have made
Yeah.
no difference at all. Yeah.
Makes no sense. Everyone's gonna say the draw is The Rock. The draw isn't necessarily the Fast and the Furious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Fast fans or Fast heads or Furious heads is Furious heads or Fast.
I don't know.
I think it'd
Either
be
one.
a Fast head.
Probably Fast head.
Yeah. I don't think they're like running out to see it because it's a Fast movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. There are some
Maybe.
Fast heads out there, though. You know,
No,
like
for sure.
I know, like there were some that were satisfied because there's like a cameo in it of like a character who they didn't get justice in the actual series, and he shows up, and they're like, oh, see,
I don't know.
It was like a
I don't
fan
know.
theory thing where it was like, oh, I knew he was alive. I haven't watched
okay.
all the movies, so I don't know, but there's like a fan service Easter egg thingy in there where it, like satisfied the Fast heads.
Okay. Yeah, quick tangent. Not that this already hasn't been a long tangent, but are you aware of the Fast and the Furious Spy Racers Netflix show?
Spy Racers Netflix show? No.
Yeah. All right. Do yourself a favor. Check out like the first like 5-10 minutes of this thing. It is so weird. It is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
It's Fast and Furious branded, like.
Yes, it is a kids CG animated TV show for Fast and the Furious, and it's Vin Diesel's nephew, I think, and his friends, and they like Vin Diesel is also animated in the show.
Oh, okay. This needs to be seen.
Yeah, I watched it with my roommate. We watched like the first or part of the first episode, and it is so brutal. The animation is terrible. They also, you know, DreamWorks Face, like on they do DreamWorks Face the whole show. Everyone's doing it at every moment, and they like do it. Vin Diesel is like, hey, yeah, we called you kids in because we think you can handle it. Like, you guys are great racers. Like, you should go undercover and, like, bust to this, like, Russian, like, racing ring. And it was like, wait, this is a bunch of teenage kids. Like, what is he thinking? You know what I mean? It just makes absolutely no sense. You gotta check it out. There's also...
It's all Vin Diesel's really got. He's got the...
Yeah, it's all he's got, man.
And Bloodshot, apparently.
Bloodshot, yeah. It's his new one to work on. He's like, Dwayne took everything from me. I gotta start a new franchise. But then eventually, like, the third Bloodshot, Dwayne's gonna be in there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, you know what? I think I'll do my own Bloodshot.
He'll kill Vin Diesel's Bloodshot and become a new Bloodshot. You know what? I think I can do my own Bloodshot. You know what? It's amazing.
It's like Bloodshot 3. Vin Diesel's not in the movie.
He's just
fuck!
Fuck!
I can't do anything.
Like The Rock self-financed it. So it's like...
He's like, I don't care, I'll pay for it. Everyone's like, but like, we'd rather you didn't. He's like, I can do whatever I want with my money. Like, no!
Amazing. Well, anyway, you wanted to talk about some kind of Star Wars controversy.
Okay, yes.
That you have.
Yeah, I've got a bone to pick with the Star Wars physical media releases this upcoming Tuesday. Did you look up any of these bad boys? You see what's going on with this?
Yeah, I just kind of looked it up before we got on, so I didn't look too thoroughly, but
because I didn't know if you would have like popped on the big set. Because you've seen the big set, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen the big set. I've seen photos.
Yeah. Because that drops Tuesday. Was gonna buy it. Definitely not buying it right now with everything that's going on.
Yeah. So to explain with everyone, like if you don't know, Star Wars, the whole series, the saga, is coming out on 4K.
9 episodes.
9 episodes. Right.
So yeah. So there's a big box that is now a Best Buy exclusive. It's a big digibook thingy, oversized box. It's got the 9 4Ks in it. It's like, okay, cool. That looks nice. But
the Skywalker saga, it's being called.
Yeah. But after that was announced, they also said, we're also going to put them all out individually, matching cover art. So the advantage there
I did see
is
that.
you can get Rogue One, you can get Solo, matching cover art on 4K.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, Daddy likes that. But you know what I don't like? The fact that Rise of Skywalker does not match the art.
No, man.
And because of that, like, when will they press this in this old art? They'll just reissue all of them. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do. They reissued them like a year ago with new art. Yeah. So it's like, you will seemingly never be able to have a complete collection. So it's like, if I get the new ones, then it's like, okay, or the box set, it's like, okay, I got the whole box set. You get the stragglers, that's fine. They match each other, but they don't.
They match each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sure. And that's if you don't already own Solo, which I do not.
Ah.
So
I've got that on 4K already.
Yeah. So now you have the dilemma of, if you buy the individuals, you have to rebuy Solo to match. Oh. Right. So So I'm like, box set's out. I'm out on the set.
You're out on the set? No.
Well, it's too expensive.
It is very expensive.
It's like what, like $250 or something?
Yeah, it's kind of insane.
That's a little much. It's also, I like oversized. Oversized is fine, but like the Zatoichi Criterion's about as oversized as I want to get. You can still put it on the shelf with other stuff. It's a little bigger, but like this Star Wars set looks big. Like
it's huge.
Like, you
can't fit that on the shelf. It's got to be like its own thing.
It's like, I sucked it up for the Godzilla Criterion because there's no alternative. But if you're gonna give me an alternative, maybe I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just think I don't understand why they wouldn't put out a version of Rise of Skywalker that has the matching cover art.
Yeah, I see the bundle here, and
you're gonna have
it's coming out
10
and it's
movies.
Like, why doesn't it match?
You're going to have 10 4Ks that all match and look beautiful, and then the last one doesn't. It's infuriating. Like, that is infuriating to me. Because it's like, if I do this, if I buy individually, then I already have Last Jedi. So, on 4K. So then it's like, am I going to have 2 that don't match? Or do you rebuy Last Jedi to match, sell the old one? But then you still can't get all of them to match. They're fucked. They're trying to get you. They're trying to get you to spend that $250, bud. That's what they do.
Yeah, that's exactly what they want. They want you to buy the whole set.
Mm-hmm. I think it's bogus trickery, is what I think. I think it's fucked.
Well, that's Disney for you. Yeah.
I also saw the whole thing about, they were like, yeah, we're dropping Rise of Skywalker early because of the crisis, so everyone can watch it at home.
Yeah.
It's coming out on digital early.
It's currently on digital.
Yeah, but do you see it? It's to buy for like $20. You can't rent it.
Oh no, that's what they always do now. That's
yeah,
the whole
but
thing.
that's
you
not
can't rent.
Helping anyone out.
They want you to buy it, bud. They want you to buy it.
Up. Maybe I'll buy that on digital and then just not have it on 4K physical. Because of their. I don't know.
What's really frustrating too is the Blu-ray 4K Blu-ray of Rise of Skywalker doesn't even match the other 2 4Ks that came out. Because obviously they got new art for the new pressings, whatever.
Yeah.
But like I already have Force Awakens and I have Last Jedi on 4K, and those match. They have a similar style with the poster art on top.
Yeah.
Release Rise of Skywalker similar. Right. No, whole new cover. So that doesn't even match the originals. Nor does it match the new art that's being released for the whole saga.
Yeah. Wait, Force Awakens is out on 4K?
Oh no, you're right. I don't have that on 4K. Because Last Jedi was the first one that came out on 4K. The first Star Wars.
I'm not trying to call you out. I'm just like, fuck, I missed that.
No, you're right.
I definitely would have bought that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I don't have it. I have it on regular Blu-ray.
But still, it's like Disney has all these like bullshit like strips at the top, and like the way that they say what format it is, and the stupid boxes, or like the little box on the spine with like someone's face in it for no reason.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not even consistent now. You know?
And Disney, you would think they'd be all about that.
Yeah. Because you know what? If it matched, I'd fucking buy them. I would do it.
Yeah. But here's my kind of thing too. I'm gonna buy Rise of Skywalker on 4K, but I don't know about buying the others, at least right now, because I know the bitrate is crushed a little bit, but they're on Disney Plus right now.
It's true. There's nothing,
and they look great.
There's nothing like that disc though.
I know. You're right.
High bitrate.
You're right.
I mean, I know it looks very good on Disney Plus.
It does look really good, especially A New Hope. Mm-hmm. But oh man, who am I kidding? I'm gonna have to get the originals on 4K.
Yeah,
I have to.
Right? You have to.
I fucking have to.
But then what? Are you gonna buy the 3 originals? Have the last 2 in the sequel series that don't match the originals, and then not get the prequels? This is the controversy I'm talking about. They're fucking us, dude. They're fucking us. Because then,
worst.
You know what? You're going to be at Best Buy, and you're going to be like, maybe I will just get the fucking prequels. Maybe I fucking will.
Maybe I'll just get the prequels. Then I'll have them on 4K.
But then also, I guess, one thing I haven't looked up, what's the price point on these 4Ks? Because maybe $250, even though it seems really bad, isn't that much. Except they're charging $30 each.
Well, on Amazon, like A New Hope 4K by itself is like it's like over $36.
Jesus, see, that's fucked.
That's a lot.
Because you're not even paying for the continuity at that point. You know what I mean? It's like, fine, fuck me, I'll pay more, okay. But it's like, no, I won't, because I can't even...
And I can't even buy, like, I can't even get, like, the original... Like, I want the originals on 4K. Like, I can't even get a set of that. I have to buy them individually. Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up, man. Honestly, it's fucked up, and it's manipulative, and I don't like it.
Oh, dude, Empire Strikes Back is $39.99, so it's even more.
Oh my god. Hopefully that's just the pre-order push, you know. I feel like if you pre-order something on Amazon like really far away, it usually ends up being insanely cheap. But then it usually like gets really high right before it comes out. So maybe that won't be the stable price. Oh my god. This is disgusting. All right, so right now I was pulling up Amazon. I'm on the Empire Strikes Back 4K page. $39.99. I look down, sponsored products related to this item. This is just for anyone who wants to follow along. You see Rise of Skywalker, and then you see Star Wars Complete Saga, episodes 1 through 8. Well, not really Complete Saga. So you click on that, DVD, DVD. Look at the cover of this thing. This thing has Captain Phasma on the cover.
Which one? So I can look it up.
Star Wars Season 1 through 8 collection. Star Wars: The Complete Saga. Yeah, it says Season 1 through 8. What the fuck is this bullshit?
That's some rip-off shit.
Wow, it's literally a weird repackaging of the old ones they released, and then a skinny DVD case of Last Jedi.
Yeah, I see it. Star Wars: The Complete Saga, episodes 1 through 8 DVD set.
But then, if you look at the cover, it says Season 1 through 8, and it has Captain Phasma on it.
The fuck?
What the fuck is this? It's, honestly, though, it's $3 more than the Empire Strikes Back 4K. It's insane.
Weird.
This is obviously a bootleg. What crap. Dirty DVDs.
Absolutely.
Each DVD is dirty. Damn.
Well, I want the box set now.
I know. Well, it's Best Buy exclusive, man.
It's Best Buy exclusive?
I don't know how long it's going to be around for. But that might also be what they want you to think. Maybe I'm just spreading the panic.
There's no way.
Playing right into their hand. But yeah, I think Best Buy bought, because it wasn't at first. It was on Amazon and stuff, because I was going to pre-order it. But it's not now. I think it's
maybe they purchased the rights, distributing rights for it. $250. Fucking god.
Yeah, so expensive.
Remember when that?
Though,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, though, because of like the state of everything, like that thing's dropping.
It's gonna drop.
Those things are sitting on shelves for months.
Like, yeah, like hold off for now. It comes out April 3rd. I bet you I'll even wait after that. No rush on it. But yeah, that's gonna drop. That baby is gonna drop because no one's gonna fucking buy it right now.
Yeah. It's like I'm not. Who knows if I'll even fucking be alive to watch these things.
Maybe we could use some of that STEMI money, you know?
Yeah, seriously. Get that Trump check, spend it on Star Wars 4Ks.
Really stick it to him.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyways, moving on.
You watch anything else?
I watched a couple things, but I don't know. Westworld. You been watching the new Westworld season?
I haven't seen any of it.
I wasn't a big fan of the second season. I think the
I heard it
first
was
season.
a misstep.
Yeah. So you haven't seen the second season?
I haven't seen any of it.
Oh shit. Well, you absolutely have to see at least the first season. The first season, I think, is like a perfect season for a show. It's you can't top it. It's so good, so fucking good. Now season 2 got a little. It didn't know what it wanted to convey or where to go from there. So it was very, very vague. Very just like. It didn't know what it wanted to do. But there were some cool moments, like you get to see Samurai World and some other cool shit, which is awesome. And now, so the third season has come out. There's been 2 episodes so far, 1 tomorrow, and it's a lot better. I think it's a lot better.
It looked fucking crazy.
It goes. It's a very expensive show, but it looks amazing. It looks really good. Very high budget, and kind of what you see from the trailers so far, from what I've seen, is like that's just the first episode. The second episode went back to its roots and wasn't even like what you saw. And I like that. They kind of. I was afraid in the new season, in season 3, they would just get away from Westworld. It's like, why even call this show Westworld? It's just like in the but that's not the case. I won't say anything else, but I don't know. I like where it's going so far. It's only 2 episodes, but I'm hooked. I think it definitely a better start than season 2. So
nice.
Yeah, Aaron Paul is a new character in it, and he's pretty good so far. Yeah.
Sweet.
So, dude,
I've heard good things.
Westworld, watch season 1, man. You gotta watch it.
Too many shows, man. I'll get to it.
That's a top one. That's a top contender.
Yeah, I'll get to it. I guess speaking of shows though, I have been watching. Have you watched Devs?
Devs, no, I've heard of it though. I haven't watched it.
I figured you'd be all over this thing, man.
I haven't watched it.
It's your boy, Alex Garland.
Is it really?
Yeah, he wrote and directed the whole thing. Pretty
sure.
Oh,
I didn't even know that.
I don't know. I mean, I know he at least is behind it, but yeah, it's like his show, and it's very much his vibe.
Oh shit! Then I have to watch this. Oh my god!
Honestly, you do. I was like, man, this guy hasn't fucking watched Devs yet. Yeah, he wrote and directed the whole show.
Oh yeah, the show. Yeah, with Nick Offerman and everything. Yeah, I've seen trailers, but I haven't. I didn't even know it was his show.
It's very good. I
know why I haven't given it. Why I haven't given it any attention? I don't have Hulu.
Oh. Honestly, just get that that wait until it's done and just fucking get that trial.
Get the trial.
Slam that thing.
Slam it. If this is Alex Garland, dude, hell yeah, I have to.
Do you have cable? Because it's on FX, but they just signed a deal with Hulu, so it's like a TV show. But I
do. I have Spectrum streaming, so maybe I can get it like on demand or something.
Yeah, if you have FX, it's an FX show, but I know that they just signed a big deal with Hulu, so like all their shows are also they like come on the next day or something.
Yeah, it says FX on Hulu. Oh, maybe I can get it on demand then.
Yeah, it's very good. It also feels I don't know, it's interesting, I think, when someone transitions to television, but it just feels almost exactly like something that they would make regardless. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it does feel somewhat TV-ish, but it also, like, stylistically is, like, very in tune with what he's done before.
That's great. So do you like it? Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched all of them thus far. It's very good.
How many are there so far?
I think there's 5 out and there's 8 total, and it's a mini
Cool.
series. So that's the other thing, though. Is like I'm hoping that they don't pull that fucking shit where they claim it's a mini series and then they just decide to extend it and make more, because that would be a bummer. Because from what I've read, it seems like a contained 8-episode arc.
I feel like Alex Garland doesn't like to do that, so
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't like sequels, so if he has anything to say, I don't think he'll let it happen.
Yeah. Even though it's something that honestly seems like there's so much to explore within the concept.
That's good. That means it's a good world that's being built, you know?
It's very much a heady sort of like real science-y concept. You know what I mean? I think it's like it's right up your alley, dude. You got to check it out.
Oh, I definitely will. That's great. Hell yeah, you definitely. I didn't even know that, so thanks for telling me. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Other than that, that's it for me, really.
Yeah, I watched the first few episodes of that show, Dave. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah,
all else
it's good.
Yeah.
I watched a couple stand-ups. I watched part of Mark Maron's. I didn't finish it because I wasn't into it, and then I watched the other guy. Good story. Good story, bro. But anyways, let's move on to... Let's get into our first resurrection rant. Yeah?
Let's do it, bro. Yeah.
All right, we're going to be talking Late Sleeper from 1992, starting now.
From the mind of Paul Schrader have come some of the most provocative and controversial films of our time. Now, he brings us a new story of life on the edge. For John LaTour, a dangerous career was the most comfortable life he had ever known.
Johnny, you want to have lunch with me tomorrow? 1 o'clock till 5?
You really think she means it this time?
New Year's Eve, she had her chart done. New Year's Eve and out. No acid house, no product, no delivery.
What do you do with all your money?
It's not that much in the first place,
It's
as you know.
free.
Mary, you don't have to avoid me. I'm straight.
You're dealing.
We were magical.
But John LaTour is about to wake up and discover that everything he has is about to change.
You drift from day to day, years go by. Then a change comes. What a strange thing to happen halfway through your life. What luck.
By the way, I picked up a different beer. They only had one of the can that I drank before. I thought Never Ending Never Ending was kind of good for this time that we're in. This quarantine seems never ending. But I also picked up a beer I haven't tried it yet. This is going to be the first time I've tasted it. Redfish Red IPA. Now, I'm a big fan of red ales.
I like red ales too.
Big fan. It's probably my favorite. But this is a red amber style with IPA.
Nice.
So I'm going to give it a taste.
Good?
Yeah. It's a blend of the two. It's really interesting.
You should pour out a little taster glass and send me some.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah, just the mail's still going, so you can ship me a little glass of it. And maybe it'll get here by the time the cast is over. I can try it on air, you know?
I recommend it, dude. Redfish Red IPA from Flying Fish Brewing Co. What sold me on this, it was only like $7 for a 6-pack. And it's 7%, bro.
Oh, nice. Look at you. Hell yeah.
Anyways.
Daddy's trying to get toasted.
So, Light Sleeper is a Paul Schrader film from 1992. A drug dealer reconsiders his profession when his boss plans to go straight and an old flame reappears. It stars Willem Dafoe, Susan Sarandon.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, actually. I was really shocked that...
Yeah. Weird David Spade, tidy whitey scene. And
David Spade. What's his fucking name? Sam Rockwell was in this?
Very bit part for Sam.
That was crazy. He was so young. Victor Garber. very interesting. Anyway, Zach, what'd you think? And by the way, we will be spoiling this because it's an old film.
Yeah. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I think it was good. I'm just always interested in his movies, and I think it's also worth noting that it was spawned by just all of these being on. He had that retrospective, so it was like, hey, why not?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. On Criterion Channel.
Yeah, on Criterion Channel. I think one thing that he's really good at is just finding a subculture or something, or picking a profession and just kind of just presenting it. Like, I think the best part about this movie was I liked just like watching Willem Dafoe's kind of like day to day in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like this drug dealer, like,
yeah, there was a
going
lot
about
of
his day.
Kind of extraneous stuff that like didn't really need to be there, but I think that was kind of the best part. So in a way, it was like, it's weird because it didn't feel super substantial in the sense of like, why are we seeing like this? But it also captured, because it was that way, it like captured more of like an overarching like angle, which is kind of interesting, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I like Willem Dafoe in it. I thought he was good. I really like Susan Sarandon, so always happy to see her.
She's
kind
great.
of different role for her, so I like that. But yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. It didn't all sort of like culminate in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think like in the beginning, I was like pretty into this, and I went through some waves where I was like, I mean, some of the dialogue isn't great. There's some actual pretty bad dialogue actually, but overall, I kind of mostly agree with you. Like, I like the film. I didn't love it, but I did like it, and I really enjoyed like Willem Dafoe's performance. I thought he was really good in it, and just seeing his day to day, and there's some definite vibes of Taxi Driver, like this.
Oh yeah. There's some straight Schrader in there, man.
Yeah, that's his vibe,
Schrader. You know.
Yeah.
That sort of like seedy, weird. Everyone's like in like shitty apartments with like dirt all over the walls for no reason.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, like
all about that urban isolationism. You know, just
absolutely.
Which I love that shit. I think
it's great.
It's great. You know, it's a cool vibe and tone to get into. And yeah, I thought it was a very interesting angle too, to have sort of Willem Dafoe play this guy who knows the life that he's kind of found himself in. You know, he's like, what have I been doing with my life? You know, I'm like getting old and older, and I'm still like stealing drugs, and the woman got away, so to speak, and seeing how he like tries to redeem himself in that way, with a big ending, of course. But I don't know.
Yeah, I thought the storyline with him and the woman who relapses was pretty effective. And it was an interesting dynamic at first, like when they're in the cab and he's like lying that he still deals, and then he does, and she's like, "Fuck you, dude," you know.
Like, but he was clean. He's like, "I'm clean," you know.
Yeah, like I'm not doing them, but like I mean I'm dealing, but yeah. So I did like kind of that dynamic, because it did seem genuine from like his perspective. You know what I mean? And then it is pretty effective what happens later on with her character.
Yeah.
But yeah, it almost seemed like, even though I know that like everything was like directly related in the way that like things happened, it just felt like a little disjointed. Like there were like multiple parallels that weren't really kind of like meshing, you know what I mean? I think it maybe was part to do, it was kind of like not frustrating, but not like a great watch, in the sense of like, I just kept getting like phone calls during it, and then like,
oh really?
People were like coming in the house and talking, and I was like, okay, yeah, I was playing it.
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
annoying.
Got like 2 phone calls, pausing it like every like 20 minutes, you know what I mean? But
that'll disrupt a viewing.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a caveat to this, but yeah, I guess I don't have a ton more to say. I thought visually it was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say either.
It was interesting. What order did you watch this and Adam Resurrected? Did you watch this first?
I think we flipped. Okay. I watched this one first.
Mm-hmm.
My mentality was I'll watch the older one first and then kind of see where that progressed. But I think you watched Adam Resurrected first, right?
I did, yeah, just because I was I knew that it was a little more heavier subject matter, and it was earlier in the day, so I was like, well, everyone was like doing things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could like watch it more, less outside interference. But it was interesting visually. I mean, obviously this is more in line with like the stuff that he made in this era, like American Gigolo and all that stuff. So I like this. I prefer this visually, sort of like just locked off, wider aesthetic. But it was interesting, kind of like flipping back to his like post 2000, you know, and seeing the sort of desaturated, shaky handheld.
Oh, it was
aesthetic,
very of that time,
you know?
too.
Yeah, totally. And I didn't realize that movie had come out then. I guess that's all that movie though. We'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, so that was kind of an interesting dynamic, but yeah, I liked it. I thought it was worth watching. I always like watching his films. Trying to watch all of them before they leave Criterion Channel. I think I only have one more to watch, but
nice.
Because I'd seen a bunch of them already, but yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
I think I pretty much agree with you.
Music was funny, but like good.
Music was funny. There was definite some, like that's a good thing to bring up. Is the music was very cheesy and of its time, but I kind of liked it. Like a lot of saxophone, like soft rock, kind of jazzy kind of feel.
Dated pop tracks, but something about, there's certain times where that doesn't work and there's certain times that it does. And I think for me, some of the like urban isolation vibe, like I think the like New York 70s 80s era was very much like interesting in a time capsule way. So like it's always interesting to see like when everyone's walking around, like what just the urban environment was like at that time. So I think in movies like that are also sort of like a visual time capsule of like a place, it kind of makes the music like lends itself to that a little better. Yeah. Whereas if it's something else, whereas like if you're going back and you're making a movie and it's on sets, or like it takes place in the future or it takes place some other time, and you have that sort of like dated angle, then it kind of just dates it. But because this movie like is dated in a time, then it kind of enhances it in a way, you know. Yeah. Even though it's definitely corny, and like at times I was like chuckling a little, like. Oh yeah, me too. It was interesting, like. Yeah,
for sure. Especially like that kind of like the cheesy moment of like the love scene was very like totally. Of a time where I was like, oh my god, like that. There's would like never...
that overhead shot too.
Yeah. Like, it was like it would never happen today. You know?
No, absolutely not.
That made me laugh out loud. But sort of like the environment we were talking about, I thought it was very interesting how it was always kind of focused on showing just like these bags of trash like on every fucking street corner,
totally,
and
man.
Along every street. Like that's
so
how
much trash
New York is. But especially during that time, like they had like that kind of problem where like there was just an overload of trash, and there's just like piles of it in front of these businesses and stuff. And
honestly, it's kind of still like that though. It's just
man.
Like
it does.
There's no alleys, so it's just like all. And I was there over the summer, and it was just like trash. Every sidewalk was covered in like the like trash juice, you know, like the shitty like soda juice at the bottom, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, God,
so
people
bad.
Fucking live here. Like, God damn it. You know? Like, I can't. Not for me, man. Like, I can't do it.
I know. It's dirty, man. It's a dirty place.
Dirty. Get some alleys, guys. Come on. Some fucking garbage cans going.
Right. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, my roommate did point that out too. He's like, so much fucking trash everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, yeah. It's really weird. Like,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And it sort of tried to capture that too. It seemed like
absolutely.
Yeah.
They framed it around sort of like
For
including that in the frame.
Yeah.
There was also some good people clearly being like, "Oh, they shooting a movie over there?" Like in the background. Like, there was a scene where Willem Dafoe's on a payphone near like a park or something. And it's like dollying around the payphone, and this car pulls up, and it's just a guy like staring like really blankly like right at the camera.
I didn't notice that. That's hilarious.
It was really funny. Yeah. I always love that because it's clearly. I mean, they're just like in New York.
Yeah.
There's just like a fucking.
They're in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always appreciate when a movie's that takes place in New York is really shot in New York because you can always tell. And nothing quite like the real vibe, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. What would you rate this movie?
I don't know, like a 3?
That's fair. Yeah.
3.5?
I'd give it.
I don't know.
I'd say like a heavy 3, maybe a little light 3.5.
Yeah. It was.
I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't dislike it. I guess 3.5 is heavy 3, like 3.5.
I think 3.5 is I'll give it that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's like it didn't. It was interesting and I liked it, but I don't know like what I got out of it after that much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know like if it was like, man, gotta revisit that at some point. Like if I'll ever like need to do it, but I did like it, and it was interesting to see. Just you hope that Paul's got some hidden gems, but it's just like.
I know. It's
everyone's dug up the gems by now. You know
everyone knows the
like,
gems.
Yeah.
Everyone knows the gems.
Yeah.
I sort of think too it's a little lower on the scale because there's some definite rough patches in there. Like I think with the script there's some rough patches. And I think that's sort of it's funny because that's sort of can be an inherent problem when the writer is also directing. Sometimes
totally.
You'll get amazing films out of that, but also sometimes you'll just You don't get any editing. You don't get any of the edit or the collaboration of being like, maybe we should change this up or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that sort of suffered from that.
Yeah, I feel that.
So yeah, that is Light Sleeper. We got one more Paul Schrader movie, but before we do that,
Wes. Before we talk about Adam Resurrected, we got to discuss a special deal from our sponsors.
What's this?
Well, it's for the listeners of this podcast, listeners Rant About Movies podcast. Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day free trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. To download your free audiobook, go to audibletrial.com/LTURAM. That's audibletrial.com/LTURAM for your free audiobook.
It's free. Go do it. Yeah.
I'm free, dude. You're telling me when you're stuck at home, you don't got no job, you don't want a free audiobook. You're fucking bored. You're not doing shit. All right?
There's a fucking quarantine going on right now.
You're stuck at home. Goddamn quarantine. You can't even go buy a book right now, okay?
But you can get a free audiobook by signing up. Use the URL. It's free, and you listen to it.
Yeah, you're telling me you'd rather get on your clothes, go outside during a quarantine, go to a store, buy a dirty-ass book, sanitize every page, or just order a book when you're taking a shit, and then it downloads, and then you got it, bud. Come on.
Come on. Sanitize every page.
Yeah.
Just imagine the pages like getting wet.
Stuck together.
It's like wet. Using like a Clorox wipe on the pages.
Just on every single page. I'm not getting this goddamn virus.
Yeah, anyway, here comes our review of Adam Resurrected, starting now.
And so I was returned to my home. A home for the survivors of the Nazi camps.
Fellow survivors, it's so good to be back here at the Institute.
You're a brilliant man. Why haven't we been able to help you?
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Stein!
Here we are. Do not be frightened.
You, the funniest man in Germany. Make us laugh. Take your Stein to Rex's pen. No, Adam, on all fours. It's funnier that way. You stay here with me, make me laugh.
My wife and daughters.
Bargaining already, Adam.
Before you cure me, you will all go crazy yourselves.
All right. Adam Resurrected is another Paul Schrader film. This one from 2008. In the aftermath of World War II, a former circus entertainer who was spared from the gas chamber becomes the ringleader at an asylum for Holocaust survivors. Stars Jeff Goldblum. Willem Dafoe is back in this one.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of foreign actors, Israeli actors, some German, a lot of unknowns, but those are the two main stars. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zach, what'd you think of Adam Resurrected?
Well, I thought I knew what this movie was, and I absolutely did not. This thing was fucking way weirder than I anticipated.
Very weird movie.
And I also have absolutely zero memory of it existing in 2008.
Me too.
I don't know if this thing got buried, which would make sense because it's so fucking strange. But like, I worked at a movie theater in 2008. And when I wasn't at the movie theater I worked at, I was at the other movie theater that had 30 screens and would literally play everything that was out. And I'm just like surprised that it was just like never on my radar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have no memory of it. And like I was like, it had to be. I was like, this has got to be like 2001. And I was like, oh no,
it looks like an older film.
Yeah. But I will say, I thought Jeff Goldblum's performance was good. I think where it goes is really weird, and I don't think the movie's entirely successful. Like, I don't think it's actually like a great movie, but I do think it's like really trying to do something interesting, which I think gets what it lacks in its quality, it makes up in its attempts. Like, it's a bold movie to try to make, and it makes sense that it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I didn't dislike it. It just, I didn't think it was entirely successful.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's a very weird movie. I also think Jeff Goldblum's performance is very good. He's very charismatic in this. He's able to sell this character in a really great way. Yeah. But yeah, it's actually based on a book, a novel. I didn't know that when going into it. So I guess that kind of makes sense when you look back on it and kind of understand like sort of the script written from that. What's going on? It feels like it's
novel in its structure.
It feels adapted, yeah. But I just don't think that it fully succeeds in what it's trying to do. I agree too that it is trying to do something different, something new. But it feels disjointed and almost disconnected in a way that's I don't feel ever really connected to any of the characters other than, I guess, maybe just Jeff Goldblum a bit. But, it's a very strange topic, and the way that it's put together is, it's hard to describe, but it's, I don't think it works. Something missing about it. Yeah.
It's real peculiar, and I guess, how much did you know about it before you saw it?
I knew nothing going into it.
Yeah, I knew it was about. Shock. I was like, "There's something about the Holocaust in this thing." That's about the extent of what I knew. You know,
I didn't even know that. I didn't. Know that. I went in like completely blind.
Yeah. So, to the point where, like, I mean, he like smells a dog out in this place, and then he sees the dog and then just like automatically is like on the ground like drooling. I was like, what the fuck am I watching? Like,
very weird.
And my roommates were going on a walk and they were like leaving in front of the TV, and it was just Jeff Goldblum going like just like drooling. Like, I know. What are you watching, dude? And I was like, honestly, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I do think that certain ways that they structured it, I'm not a huge generally I'm not a huge fan of the like start a movie out, there's a thing that incites a memory, and then you're cross-cutting between memories, and how the memories correlate to the new timeline. It's just something that's been like done a lot, so it's kind of when a movie starts to do that, I'm kind of like, okay, it's one of these. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
But I will say, I thought that reveal was extremely effective. When you're like, why the fuck is he like a dog? Like, what is going on? And then you realize that he like was a dog. Like he had to be one. You know,
he had to be one.
Super sad and like
to
really
survive.
Affecting. Yeah, and I do think all the flashbacks were extremely well done. I really liked them a lot. Even though sometimes it's like, I don't know, it's on the nose, but it's like it's like the most drama. So it's like I'm okay with it being so heightened. You know what I mean? Because like it's the most dramatic scenario. I can't even like imagine ever being in this scenario. You know?
Yeah.
So Willem Dafoe was really good. I didn't know he was going to be in it so much. I liked him in it, and I thought their confrontation at the end was also effective and very strange.
Yeah, that was really good at the end.
It was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's interesting, and I think the way they do kind of work in a lot of interesting like empathy things and how like that trauma affects someone, where like there's that scene where he's at the grave and someone like condescendingly tells him to like be funny for them to like the dead person. He like eats the flower.
Yeah, you know? He's like, be funny. No, he said, be funny to your daughter, your like dead daughter.
Yeah, because it's and like you're just a fucking piece of shit because you like saved yourself, but like you really didn't have a choice, you know.
I know, that's the crazy thing.
I don't know. I do think that kind of line between people's perception and like what happens and like being thrust in that scenario, it's just like, man, I have no idea how to like anyone would ever process any of that, you know. So I think that aspect of it worked really well. I think the part that worked a little less good is the sort of modern setting of the home that he's like in. Yeah, and I like that conceptually of like him finding like another person who's a dog essentially, or thinks they're a dog. Yeah, and like him being able to relate to that and bring them back is interesting, but
it sort of becomes his therapy, like helping that kid recover was sort of his own therapy as well, to sort of recover from his past, you know.
Yeah, exactly, and I like that conceptually, but it just seemed like there was so much sort of like weird unnecessary stuff around it. Like I didn't like the two doctors that like were there that they're like, Adam, it's like, what, are we just gonna let the patients treat each other? And they're like, that's the smartest thing you've said all day. It's like, I don't need this scene in this movie. You know what I mean? Like I don't need these characters at all. Like they're not it felt like a weird way to like kind of be able to write around the fact that this is like a weird thing. Like Jeff Goldblum as a patient can't really treat another patient, so I guess we need to come up with some way to write around the fact that can happen. You know what I mean? So it felt like a lot of like duty that they had to do in the script. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was just sort of strange too. I just wasn't fully sold on just the setting itself. Like a lot of the ways, like this hospital that they're in, he just has like free roam of the place. He's a patient. But he and I love how he has like hidden bottles of like liquor everywhere. But he's never secretive about it. Like everyone knows where they are. He literally pulls it out in front of everyone from the hiding spot in front of like the guard and puts it back. And it's just like, what? What is happening? Totally. They just let him have that? I guess it's weird. Just put it in your room. Everyone knows you have that. It's strange. And just sort of, I don't know, it just felt so weird at times where he's just like, he felt outside of the patients a lot of the time, and he was able to do whatever he wanted, but they also were sort of just letting him do that for his own...
Yeah, because they just are like, he's a genius. And it's like, he's a genius. But, like, isn't he also, like, on the same level as the other people here, or did I miss something? You know what I mean?
And also he has powers. He can read people's, like, pasts. And he can read, like, history on objects and on people.
Yeah, which is really strange. And
it's like sort of another. It's another thing that makes it weirder. It's another element.
Yeah,
it's like he has powers.
And it was strange because I was like really engaged the whole time and intrigued by everything that was happening. But by the end, where they're at that party and he's wearing like the clown makeup and everyone's like shouting their number, I was just like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
is this?
Yeah. And it's like, I get that's I like that conceptually as like an empowering thing, like everyone like reading out the number that's on their arm and like using it to be like, look, I'm not just a number, blah blah blah. But yeah, it's
so bizarre.
It's really bizarre, and I think at a point it went so far that it kind of stepped outside the realm that felt like you were grounding it. Like everything in the flashbacks feels like so raw and like
feels completely different.
That the new stuff feels like a weird dream, and I think that might be part of the intent, but it also makes it kind of confusing, and that's why I don't think it's like entirely successful, because it's like that would be a surreal feeling, being like, man, all that shit happened, you kidding me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that happened to me and now I'm here, like what's going on? But I don't think it's successful in translating that to being as effective as the flashback material.
Yeah, I agree. One thing I don't agree with you on is I wasn't really enthralled by this movie. I felt it was honestly it was a little brutal to get through for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I was just like, oh my god, this has like another hour. Like, I wasn't engaged as much. I was sort of just, I guess, thrown off by how strange everything was and just trying to understand like what was happening.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I think it was just me. I'm just like, man, I have no idea what the hell's going on. But that kind of engaged me more because I was like, how does this make any sense? You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like, I have no idea what's happening in a way that like is making me want to like understand it more, because I'm getting thrown curveballs all the time here, and I don't get why. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the kid being a dog was so strange, and the guards were just like treating him like a dog and like kicking him. It's just like, when you think about it, it's like, why was that even happening and I'm being allowed like in this hospital?
Yeah, it's just like, he's a dog, so like we can't get through to him, just let him be a dog. And it's like, well, no, because he's like not one. You know?
Yeah, but he's like not one.
Wow, Adam, you're right, he isn't a dog. It's like, well, yeah, obviously, guys, like,
you're at a psychiatric hospital. You're not
like, man,
trying to treat him.
I can't believe Adam. Yeah, I can't believe Adam finally got through to him, that crazy bastard. It's like, what? He just like treated him like a human. Wow.
What a genius. Like, he's such a genius. Like,
yeah, it's kind of like doesn't make any sense.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very bizarre. Very bizarre movie. The ending too. I like the part with Willem Dafoe, and then you just sort of had the kid come out there, and because he was treated like a dog, he was like really into it, kind of like sexually. Like he wanted his affair, the nurse lady, to like bark like a dog. Yeah. When they make love, and like
a lot of weird, deep-seated,
very bizarre. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I like the stuff. I really enjoyed the stuff when he was like, it was before the Holocaust, when he was like a magical performer, and I liked him doing the tricks and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah,
and him being like a performer was fun. And being like a magician, like I was into that.
Yeah, it was.
But awesome. Then you have like that, and then the Holocaust stuff, and then just like everything else felt just so like, it felt like a different movie. It was like so surreal.
Yeah.
Well, the other stuff felt more grounded.
Yeah. And I also think they tried to mimic that visually as well. Like the visuals in the flashbacks were much more like locked off or mounted cameras. Yeah. More classical. It was black and white. It felt like more of like an old aesthetic. And then the newer stuff was the like kind of its time desaturated.
Like movie, like staticky camera sort of.
Yeah. Sort of like bluish.
Handheld.
Or like orange in desert.
Yeah.
And it feels like that's definitely like a conscious choice, but it's also one of the things where it's like, it just doesn't necessarily play together as well as I think that it was intended to, you know?
Yeah. That's that's all I have to say about that, I think.
Yeah,
I don't really know what else to say.
I feel like I had a thought on the score, but I honestly can't even remember it at this point.
I watched this movie today, and I don't even remember the score.
Oh, really?
At all. Yeah, like...
yeah. I feel like I had some note on that. I should have wrote it down. Doesn't matter. What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna rate it?
It's a tough one. Because I feel like it's not successful.
Yeah.
But I really, really liked parts of it a lot.
I think I'm going to give it a 2.5.
I think I might give it a 3. Even though it's probably a 2.5. Like, it's not very good in the sense of, like, what it accomplishes.
I don't think it succeeds overall.
No. So it's probably a 2.5. But I think there's really interesting stuff in there.
There is, and that's why it's not like too low, you know.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, there was some good stuff, but my opinion is it sort of failed overall in its attempt to be a cohesive film.
No, absolutely. it's pretty whacked out. It's like all over the place.
Yeah. And it's so weird that it came out. It's so weird that it came out in 2008. Doesn't feel like a 2008 movie.
It does not. It's really strange.
It does have a nice film grain quality to it, though. I like the film grain.
The transfer on Criterion looked very good.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, that wraps it up for our Resurrection rants. That was what a good way to end it with Adam Resurrected, right?
Yeah, Resurrection.
Yeah.
It's like a theme.
Exactly. As always, you can find other episodes of this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and if you enjoy the show, leave us a review on iTunes, because every rating brings us more listeners. You can email us at listentousrantaboutmovies@gmail.com.
Thank you to our Patreon producer, Sean Pierce, and our other Patreon supporters. You too can be a producer and or supporter of this podcast by visiting our Patreon page and becoming a monthly patron for as little as $1. Visit www.patreon.com/LTURAM podcast. And that's going to do it for this episode. Everyone stay safe out there. Stay healthy.
Stay inside.
Listen to more podcasts. Listen to a free audiobook.
Yeah, so, download a fucking audiobook, you know?
Download audiobook. Listen to this podcast. Tell your friends. And Zach, good talk. Have a good one.
Until next time, man.